Hello folks, welcome to the Grey Area. My name is Dr. Alan Gray Mukuzi. I'm a medical doctor practicing in Nairobi, Kenya. Welcome to this YouTube channel where we get to discuss productivity and personal growth. This week we get to discuss a productivity tool that I came by or was introduced to by a friend called a productivity planner. So let's dive right into it. This productivity planner is a device or a tool created by a company called Intelligent Change. I will put in the description a link on how to get the productivity planner. So the first 5 pages of the productivity planner are basically instructions on how to use the productivity planner. It's quite detailed on how it gives or how it explains how to use the productivity planner. It is, or I would advise that you go through those 5 pages in detail, read through it very slowly, make sure that you understand every step of the way, and keep referring to it as you continue using the productivity planner in the course of your life. As time goes on, you will devise new tricks and trades of using the productivity planner and kind of personalize it. So I will briefly explain how to use it. The first encounter of the productivity planner is a weekly planner, and under this weekly planner you get to plan the 15 most important tasks, or the 15 tasks that you seek to achieve at the end of the week. So at the top of the page we call them the primary goals, and these uncomfortable tasks, the most difficult tasks and the heaviest tasks that you have for the week. So they're given, there are 5 slots for that particular section. And the next section is the secondary tasks of the week, which now in order of difficulty or uncomfortability, then you would set the next 5 uncomfortable or difficult tasks of the week. And the third slot is for the additional tasks. And these are tasks that if you don't get to achieve, they don't really affect your morale and don't grossly affect your productivity or your goals. And those can be set at the end of the page. Of course, the difficulty level and the level of productivity for each of these tasks is highly subjective and is purely based on your emotional feelings of how these tasks should be prioritized. However, over time, you will decide what is most important for you. So are there tasks that have to do with your career, or are there tasks that have to do with your personal lives, which you consider the most important? At the very tail end of the page, there's a slot where you're given an opportunity to set for yourself one habit that you will carry out throughout the week that will ensure that you remain productive throughout the week. So an example of one habit that you can use throughout the week to make sure that you're productive is, for example, you can set a goal for yourself to make sure that you wake up every day at 5 a.m. in the morning, for example. If you're learning a new language, you can say every day I will write five sentences in the new language, or something along those lines. It is purely up to you to get creative and decide what are these habits that you want to encourage yourself to make yourself more productive. Right after that, now we dive into the daily tasks. Now the daily tasks, the first slot on the page is a quote. And that quote ideally is supposed to motivate you as you set out for your day. Well, you can get the quotes from anywhere. You can get them from the books that you read. You can get them from newspapers and magazines, or you can just Google the internet. We live in fantastic times. So you can simply Google a quote every day, and you can get a quote and just use it as a motivational factor for your day. The very first objective, or rather the very first slot in the daily tasks is an opportunity to set the primary task, the primary task of the day. And this is the single most important task of the day. What is that one thing that you want to achieve in the day? And if you do achieve only that, then you'll be satisfied with yourself. So again, the recommendation is that set out the most difficult task of the day, the one that requires more time, that requires more effort, as the primary task of the day. After that, there's a slot right next to it. There's a slot with 5 dots, or rather 5 dots. Let me call it 5 dots, which basically are supposed to give you an opportunity to use the Pomodoro technique. The Pomodoro technique, or rather the word Pomodoro, stands for the egg timer in time. And the Pomodoro technique is a technique whereby a technique devised to make tasks seem very simple. And in the sense that every task is broken down into 30-minute slots. And after every about 20 to 30 minutes, ideally you're supposed to take a break before you continue with the task. That is supposed to create an environment that makes you feel like the task is very simple and breaks down the task into simple or small time slots. The recommendation is that after every 20 to 30 minutes you take a break. However, that doesn't mean that you necessarily have to do that. After 20 minutes, and if you find that your creative juices are still running, or you are at that sweet spot of achieving your task, you don't necessarily have to stop and then take a break, because you'll find that you'll lose that momentum that you had already gained. But that is just supposed to serve as a guiding factor. Personally, I just use it as a target for timing my tasks. So for example, if I say the most important task for today is to shoot this YouTube video, I will set out on the Pomodoro and say for example, I'll set out 2 slots for the shooting of the video. Hopefully the video will only take me an hour to shoot. But it doesn't mean that I'll take a break at the 30-minute slot and then stop, take a break, then continue recording, because that might break my thought process. So what I use it for is I set out, say, two slots, which means that ideally it should take 1 hour. However, if at the end of the task I discover it takes 4 hours, I use that for auditing purposes, so that for my future planning I can tell that when I set out to do this task, normally it takes me this long. But you can make it, like I said, this productivity tool is made to make you productive, so you can personalize it as much as you can, as long as it makes you more productive. The second is the secondary task, the daily planning, the secondary task of the day. And basically, it's just an opportunity now, if you have already achieved the primary task of the day, which are these other secondary tasks that you would like to achieve for the day. And that also, after that, there's a slot also for the Pomodoro technique. And then finally, we have additional tasks for the day. Now, my recommendation, or rather one of the tricks that I use, is I keep referring to the weekly tasks that I've set for myself. And one of the things I do is that for the primary tasks, I distribute them throughout the week. So if I have 5 primary tasks, then I will pick one each for every day of the week. That's from Monday through to Friday. And then for the secondary tasks, I also share them out throughout the week, which normally can all be covered in 1 day or 2 days or 5 days, sometimes 7. And the same for the additional tasks for the week. At the end of the week, you might find that you have additional 2 days that you don't necessarily have tasks that are set out for that. What you'll find out is that there are other tasks that come during the week that you had not predicted or foreseen that then can be slotted in, either in between the week or at the end of the week, and you can see how to space it out and just make sure that you achieve the tasks that you need to achieve by the end of the week. After that, there's a slot where you get to write your notes, your thoughts, your emotions. So this could be ideas that you have come up with either before the day starts or during the day, or at the end of the day when you are assessing your daily tasks, when you are looking at your tasks. This is just like a blank spot or space of about 5 lines or so, where you can get to just put in your thoughts, what your feeling was as you were tackling the tasks of the day, and what did you learn from the day. After that, now there's a slot whereby you get to grade yourself. How productive do you think you are for that day? And that is a very subjective way of grading, which is totally fine, because like I said, it's about how you feel. Were you really, really productive? Well, I recommend that you should not be too hard on yourself, but also don't be too lenient on yourself, rewarding yourself for probably a day that would have been more productive, or being too hard for yourself when you have been very productive, but because of simply not achieving 1 or 2 tasks of the day, then you end up grading yourself. and demoralizing yourself in the event. You can devise ways of actually scoring yourself, objective ways of scoring yourself. Say, for example, one of the ways is that you can give yourself four points for if you get to achieve the primary task of the day, and 2 points each for the secondary tasks of the day, and then 1 point each for the additional tasks of the day. That comes to a total of 10 points. That comes to a total of 10 points. And then therefore it becomes easier for you to grade yourself at the end of the day. It's a more objective way of looking at it. But really it's not cast in stone, it's about how you feel at the end of the day. And it still gives you another slot right in yourself. What do you think you did that made you either more productive or less productive in that day? Again, it's just a learning point for you to keep record of how your day was and what tasks or what actions you can take to make yourself more productive in the future. So you continue filling the daily tasks all the way through to Sunday, and on Sunday there's now, right after Sunday, there's a spot or there's an opportunity for you to write your weekly notes. And under your weekly notes, you can actually write whatever you have in mind of how your week has gone. What did you manage to achieve, and why do you think you were able to achieve whatever you set out to achieve? What are these new ideas that you came up with during the week? What are these new friendships, new partnerships that you made during the week? What are these emotions that went through you throughout the week that you think are helpful or not helpful for that matter, so that you can carry them forward or drop some of them to make you more productive for the future. All right, so you can really, it's a blank page. Really, you can write anything you feel, anything you think, and anything you want. It's just a blank page. It's an opportunity for you to journal. It's not a lot of space, it's just one page. It's not a lot of space, but really it's up to you. You can draw, you can put sticky notes, you can make it your own. Again, this productivity planner is about making it your own, to make sure that you're as productive as you want to be or you would like to be. Then the next page is a reflection page. It has been broken down into sections. The first section, you talk about your wins. So what are these tasks that you were able to achieve during the week? What do you think are some of these wins that you got during the week? Did your business grow? Did you sell more products? Did you make more money some way? Did you spend your time better? Did you finish reading a book? Whatever you consider as a win in that particular scenario, just state it down there as a win. And then the next slot is what didn't you get to achieve, and would you like to set that as a part of the task to carry forward into the other week? And right there, normally you have some leftover tasks. Perhaps you just didn't get right into it and get down to completing some of those tasks. Sometimes it's just that you did not allocate the right amount of time for those tasks. Sometimes there are other more important tasks that came and overtook these tasks. You still have an opportunity to review them and see, are they still applicable for the following week and the following month? So you could still carry them forward into the following week. And then the third slot is what did you learn from your week? And in this particular case, there's always a lesson to be learned. Part of failure, or the beauty of failure, is that you get to learn lessons. And if you do not carry the lessons from your failures or tasks that you did not complete, then you lose out on that opportunity altogether. So you get this opportunity to get to write down what you learned and perhaps how will you implement what you learned into the following week. And then also there's an opportunity for you to write the action points for the week. So for example, like I said, waking up at 5 a.m. helps you get a head start on your day and get more creative, and perhaps just isolating some time to meditate and think just allows you to get creative and things along that line. I would urge you to be as creative as you can be, but also you can read plenty of books that give you an opportunity to just teach you how to be more creative and how to discover the creativity in you. Finally, in this section, I will just speak on a few insights, a few ideas, and I will share some of my personal experiences that have enabled me to use this productivity planner to my advantage and stay more productive. So, first is that you should always reduce the friction between you and that productivity planner. And this is a lesson that I learned from a book called Atomic Habits, written by a guy called James Clear. And really, he says that for you to strengthen a good habit, make it easy. And basically, that is just reducing the friction between you and that habit. So, a couple of tips is that first, try and get a brightly colored cover for your productivity planner, so that it can just stand out wherever it is. The one that I personally use is red in color, but I've seen people using purple ones. I know purple has been one of the favorite purple ones. You can use a purple one, you can use a blue one, whatever color you consider bright. But my recommendation is that use a brightly covered productivity planner, so that it can just stand out of whatever space that you've placed it in. The other thing is place it right next to things that you regularly use. So for example, you can place it next to your phone charger or your phone. You can place it next to your laptop. You can place it on top of your desk, and have no other item or book covering it when it's on your desk. You can place it on your bedside. You can place it next to your breakfast station or your coffee station and things around that. You can place it right next to your TV remote, so that you just place it right next to the items that you use regularly, so that it keeps you reminded of that productivity planner, so that you get to feel it at least every day. The other thing that I would like to share is that try as much as you can to feel it either in the morning or in the evening when you're kind of closing down your day. In the morning is my preference. I get that time. It gives me an opportunity to think through my day, think about what I want to achieve for my day, and then it also just guides me in order of priority, what I want to achieve first and what I would like to achieve last. So I personally prefer feeling it in the morning, but there are those people who prefer to feel it in the evening. As you're kind of shutting down your day, you get to think through your day and journal, and then now plan for the next day. And the next day you kind of just get on and start with it. There are also people who like to sleep on a couple of decisions or plans that they have. I guess this again would be the opportune time for them to kind of just fill the productivity planner and think through it. The third thing is that the productivity planner is important in keeping a log of your activities, and this is a skill, or rather a piece of advice I got from a book called "Steal Like an Artist" by a gentleman called Austin Kleon. And basically, he says that keeping a log of the minute details helps you to keep details of the bigger things. So it is very important that you take track of the journey that you have been taking through life, and this productivity planner does exactly that. That it helps you to remember each, or rather keeps a record of each and everything that you have journeyed through life, and all the plans and all the actions and all the activities that you've taken part in. And later on, when you're kind of taking an audit of whatever you have been doing in life, then it becomes a lot easier than just trying to retrieve that information from recall. And this also would be the stepping stones, or rather the foundational stones for writing a book in future if you wish to. So it is always important to keep a log of whatever you have been through in life, or whatever you're setting out to do in life. The other thing is create and keep a community that fosters productivity around you. And find friends or find people. It could be in the internet, it could be colleagues at work, it could be your social friends. Find people who encourage you to be productive. In the same breath, also lose people who challenge your productivity. Yeah, and always try and create a community around you that makes you feel normal for wanting to be productive with your day. Now, this is very important because for me, I have accountability partners, so to speak, people who just keep pushing me to become more creative, to become more innovative, and to become more productive. And I found that very helpful in my life. I get myself being very ambitious, and it feels very normal to be ambitious. While I have tried to keep away from people or situations that make me rethink my creativity or my innovation and make me feel like I'm being too ambitious. And that is my recommendation for you too. The productivity planner can also be used for meditation. Personally, I'm a born again Christian, and I use this productivity planner in two ways to keep in touch with God. So the first way is that in the section where I have an opportunity to feel a daily quote, sometimes I just use a Bible verse to keep me going, or rather to just start off my day, especially when I'm feeling very discouraged. Then I just use that to kind of encourage me and strengthen me. But the other way of doing it is setting it as a task for your day, and just set it amongst your tasks that today I have to read scripture, or today I have to watch a podcast, or something that keeps you connected with your God. So that I find very important personally for me to just keep in touch with my Christian life and keep connected with God. The other thing is the productivity planner builds accountability, and basically the best part about the accountability is you remain accountable to yourself. You set out the tasks for yourself, and you're the one who gets to judge yourself. So for those people who might be shy or a bit scared of being judged, this productivity planner is particularly perfect in the sense that now it gives you an opportunity to be accountable to yourself. And you just get to assess yourself without any judgment, without feeling like you're exposing yourself too much. Because some of those goals are very personal, some of those tasks that you seek to achieve are very personal, and you might not be able to share it with friends, colleagues, or anyone else really. So this gives you an opportunity to actually just keep that for yourself, but still be accountable to yourself. The productivity planner also enables you to multitask. So you can kind of break down your tasks into the personal tasks, you can break them down into your professional tasks, and you can also talk about your health, or rather you can set out tasks for your health in the productivity planner. So it actually helps you to multitask and keep track of every aspect of your life, depending on how you set out the tasks in your productivity planner. Finally, the productivity planner helps you to keep track of the what you might want to call the minute details of your life, yet very important. An example I would give is phone calls. There are those phone calls that you've been meaning to make for the last 3 months or so, but you keep forgetting, or something always keeps coming up. Yeah, the productivity planner gives you an opportunity to always write down those tasks and still achieve them, especially in the additional tasks of the day or of the week. So an example would be, for example, calling my grandmother. I can easily forget to call my grandmother, but if I do write it down, then it becomes easier to recall. And even when I still don't get to do it, when I'm doing my weekly review, it reminds me that, hey, you still haven't called your grandmother. And at that point, you can actually take that opportunity and now upgrade it to a primary task of the day. As I finish, one of the things that I would like to finally tell you is that keep in mind, as you're setting the tasks for your day or your week, remember the Parkinson's law, that every task is achieved in the time that it is allocated. Yeah. So try as much as you can not to give too much time to a task, because you will find that you'll keep procrastinating until the very tail end of that time slot that you have assigned for that task. Try and just set ample time, but of course with time, as you use the productivity planner more and more, then you will realize how much time you need to allocate for what task, and in what amount of time do you actually get to complete those tasks. If you have watched this video to this point, then I do know that deep down in your heart somewhere, you do seek to be more productive. So then therefore, grab yourself a copy of the productivity planner. Hit me up in the DM on Instagram at Dr. Gray. Doctor is Dr. .gray. I'll leave a link in the description below, and we can just get to discuss whatever challenges that you are encountering with your productivity planner, and just share in the comment section and tell me your experience with the productivity planner. Thank you for tuning in. Have a productive week.